All right, there we go. All right. All right. So our next author is on our book team. You were part of helping to edit and work with the authors to get the best from them. Um, and what tell us a little bit about your journey in being on the book team, and then we'll get into talking more about your chapter.
It's been a great journey to participate with you, Danica and Dawn, on the book team. Uh, Being a father of two children and experiencing the trauma impacted by divorce and separation, there are so many great experts around the world, and both of us have had the unique privilege of working with some of the top minds in psychology and law and trauma and divorce. But what this anthology does is brings voices that are beneficial to the healing process. So it's been a great opportunity to collaborate with all the other 21 authors.
Been really great, and I wanted to show your beautiful design of the promo. The title of your chapter is called The Heart of Co-Parenting: How to Rebuild Family Bonds. Um, what is the one message you hope readers take from your chapter?
The message I hope readers should take away is that love endures, even in the silence, distance, or conflict. And when families fracture, the structure may change, but the bond between a parent and a child remains alive in the quiet work of compassion and presence and emotional steadiness. And my chapter shows that even when co-parenting becomes impossible, a parent can still model resilience, empathy, and emotional safety. And the memories we create with our children are so important. They're sacred. Those unfiltered moments become anchors that kind of outlast the conflict in the courtrooms and the changed addresses. And what matters most is not perfection, but you know, showing up for your children with patience and courage. So hopefully, a child will remember that long after, the dust has settled on the struggles that we've been facing.
Thank you so much. Yes, so true. So why is strengthening co-parenting and family bonds so important right now?
I think, today, nearly 40% of children in the US experience divorce or separation before the age of 18. And the stakes have never been higher. Strong co-parenting and restored family bonds to protect children and from that emotional fallout of conflict and instability and prolonged litigation is so important. And research and lived experiences show that children thrive when at least one parent remains regulated and compassionate and predictable and emotionally available. And even when cooperation is denied, and parents can still give their children, the greatest gift, which to me is the model of a healthy, grounded adult in a world filled with pressure and polarization and mental health struggles that impact families. Strengthening family bonds is an urgent act of prevention. And I think it teaches children resilience and empathy and the belief that relationships can be repaired, not because they're perfect, but because the adults choose courage and humility and compassion. And it's the onus on parents to show up in that way in front of their children.
Uh, be the example of the things you want your child to see in the world.
Yeah.
Setting the example. What gives you hope for families who are struggling today?
What gives me hope is seeing how, many powerful trauma-informed communities are rising up to support families in ways that simply didn't exist, a decade ago. We now have organizations like the Star Network Foundation, Promly, and Trek providing tools and education and real world solutions that help parents and children rebuild safety and connection and resilience, which didn't exist, 8 years ago in my world. Promly is an app that gives me hope because it meets young people exactly where they are online, on their phones, in their social worlds, dealing with mental health and suicide. And it offers mental health support and a connection at a moment when our youth are isolated and anxiety is at historic levels. Their commitment to early intervention and emotional wellness ensures that the next generation has access to meaningful support before trauma becomes a lifelong burden. I work with Trek, and they give me hope because trauma responsive education is transforming how parents and caregivers and communities understand children's emotional needs. Their certification programs empower families to regulate, to co regulate, communicate in ways
Mhm.
that heal the nervous system and strengthen resilience. And I find when parents learn to become a safe harbor, especially after separation or conflict, children start to recover. And that's so important. So, alongside Promley and Trek, the trauma informed work of Dr. Jamie Heisman and the Star Network Foundation shows that parents can really heal. When parents heal, children heal with them. And I've met countless families who were once in crisis but found their way forward through community and education and emotional support. And both our books provide that for parents. So I think what gives me hope is that, we're no longer alone. We now have the science, the tools, the communities, organizations like Kids Need Both, Hope for Families Project, Promly, Trek, Star Network, and many others that have contributed to this anthology, working together to help families break the cycles of trauma and rebuild bonds that last. And families are stronger when surrounded by a village of support, as Ola articulated so wonderfully in his chapter. And today, that family really does exist with our communities.
Thank you so much, John, for so many things, for being an author and contributing through all of your personal lived experience, and being a big part of making this book project, bringing it to life and bringing it into existence internationally on the and we've already hit number one best-selling. So we've in at least one of the categories. So I'm gonna pause for a second, and I know I've got